Dear student, we are going to study the concept of gravitational potential in this small lecture of 10 to 15 minutes. In earlier chapters of work per energy, we studied the potential of the particle varies as U equal to mgh, okay, where m is the mass of the particle, g is the gravity near to the surface of Earth, and h is the height of the particle from the Earth, okay, or you can say from datum or zero reference point. When we developed this formula, we assumed that gravity is constant over the displacement, and this formula is valid only for the particles near to the surface of Earth. For the particle having higher height, let's say if radius of the Earth is r and particle is at distance, let's say r, from the surface, you cannot apply this formula. This formula is applicable only in the case if the particle is near to the surface of Earth, because we assume that gravity is constant. Now, if we focus for two particle system, we can say if there are two particles which are point masses, force is inversely proportional to the distance square, and gravity varies as distance between the particle varies. Okay, we need to develop a more general potential energy function in this case. Okay, so we are interested to find potential energy of two particles. One is m1, one is m2, and they are placed at some distance r. Now, first thing we should keep in mind, if you want to develop a potential energy function, you have to prove that gravitational force, which is basically central force, is a conservative force. Okay, conservative force means if you want to displace particle from one point to another point, let's say these are 2 points, then work done must be independent of path. Whatever with the path is chosen by you, work done must be same in all the path. Okay, so you can say this is your initial position, this is your final position, and you can go by this path, or you can go by this path, or you can go by this path. In all the path, work done must be work done by gravitational force gm1 by m2 r square must be independent of path. If we are able to prove this thing, then we can say we can derive the potential energy function in this case. Now, if I draw a diagram like this is your xy coordinate system. Okay, this is y, this is x, and you are choosing a point P, a point Q here, and let's say a point mass is here m naught, okay, or m. Now you know the gravitational force is the central force. Wherever you want to feel the force, this force must be towards the point mass. Okay, now this point is P, this point is Q, and you pick a path from P to Q like this. Okay, this point is at some radial distance ri from m, and some radial distance rf from q. Okay, now you want to know what is the work done by the gravity, what is the work done by gravitational force if you move from P to Q. Okay, now it's very simple, because this central force is always towards the point mass placed at origin. You can say the force is like F equal to G m1 m2 by r square in radially inward direction. Done. At any point, at any position vector r, force is like this only. Done. Now, if you want to move from P to Q, you can divide whole journey from P to Q in very small little parts. You can move along tangent, then you can move along radius, then you can move along tangent, you can move along radius, Bit by bit, you can move along tangent, along radius, along tangent, along radius, along tangent, along radius. Okay, like this, along tangent, along radius. Okay, this is the, you can divide whole journey like this. Basically, this is the displacement vector. You can divide like tangent and radial. Now, if you want to know what is the work done by gravitation force, you will say dw, the work done over a small displacement, is like f dot displacement. Okay, what is the value of displacement here? You will say force is along radial direction and displacement has two components. One is along tangent, that is, you can write as dt, displacement along tangent, and displacement along radial. Okay, now you know it very well. If you are moving along tangent, okay, then work done by gravitation force must be 0. The Fr dot dt, this term will be must 0, and work done will be there when you are shifting along radial direction. Got it? The work done by the force which is perpendicular to the displacement is 0, hence this work done is 0, and you can say work done is along only radial direction. Okay, if you want to calculate the total work done, you will say sum of all the work done and simple F dot dr. Okay, now what is F dot dr? If you want to know, then say F dot dr. Dr is displacement on radial direction. That means when you want to keep the limit here, r is the distance, the ri and rf. Limit is ri to rf. Got it? So you will say, so in this case, work done by gravitational force is ri to rf f dot dr. Okay, so we can conclude that this work done is dependent upon only initial and final position. Whatever is the path selected by you, radial displacement is same in both direction. Okay, the work done is independent of path. Hence, this force you can say is a conservative force. Okay, if gravitation force is a conservative force, you can say this force is central force, or you can say like the central forces, all type of central forces conservative because they are pointed toward one point. Now, can we find potential energy function from here? Now you can say this dw in terms of calculus, dw is equal to f dot dr, displacement on radial direction. Okay, and for conservative force, you know it very well. If you're doing positive work, it is losing some potential energy. If it is doing negative work, it is gaining some potential energy. We have discussed in earlier chapter that dw is equal to minus f dot dr and du is equal to minus f dot dr. Clear? Obviously, if you want to know the change in energy, delta u, you have to integrate this term du is equal to minus f dot dr. Obviously from our initial to our final. Done? Now, if I put the value of gravitation force like this, g m1 m2 by r square, okay, obviously this is along radially inward direction. This is your force. Now r cap is a unit vector from point mass to the particle. Now, if I assume earth, because outer part earth is behaving like a point mass. Now this is your distance and you are moving from some orbit from this point to this point. Okay, now this point is initially at some distance r1 from the center and this point is at some distance r2 from the center. Got it? Now you are moving from this point to this point and they want to know what is the change in potential energy. Now you know it very well, delta A is equal to minus of f dot dr. Got it? Minus f dot dr. F is g m1 m2 by r square these two minus, this minus is for sign, this minus is for radially inward, dot r cap dot displacement. Okay, now minus minus cancel, this value is simply g m1 m2 by r square. And what is the value of r dot dr? Basically r dot dr is you can write r modulus of r dr cos 0, okay, divided by r square is there. Now answer is simply gm1 m2 by r square, modulus of r cap, modulus of unit vector is 1, here you get dr. Okay, now if you integrate this term, because if you're shifting from this point to this, where m1 is the mass of the earth, you can say, and m2 is the mass of this particle, the gravitational force at this point is gm1 m2 by r square. And if you take it out from gm1 m2 from here, you will say this is dr by r square. So potential energy change is equal to gm1 m2. What is the value of dr by r square integration? That is minus 1 by r. You can say r1 r2 can be replaced by r initial to r final. The energy is minus g m1 m2 1 by r final minus 1 by r initial. This is the change in potential energy if you are shifting a particle from one point to another point. Initial distance ri and final distance rf. Now, you know, the potential depends upon the reference point where you can assume potential is 0. And we have discussed in earlier chapters, or you can say, if you're choosing a point which is at infinite distance from the center, there is no field, no effect of gravity of earth at this point. At this point, okay, at this point, you can say, which is far away from the earth, at infinity, potential is 0. Okay. So it is a customary thing, you can do it, and we are doing with this logic only. And if you're shifting particle from infinity to some point r, then delta u final minus u initial minus gm1 m2 1 by r minus 1 by r initial. Now you are assuming initially particle is at infinity. At infinity, potential is 0. That means now energy between two particles will be like minus g m1 m2 by r. This formula is applicable for interaction between earth and point mass, and this formula is also applicable for interaction between two point mass. The reason is very simple. In outer region, earth behaves like a point mass. Now energy at the surface of earth, you can say minus gm1 m2 by r. Now if you are choosing a point like this is your earth, and this is your earth's surface. Okay, now we are not going inside the earth, we are moving from the surface of earth. So gravity at the surface will be like minus gm1 m2 by re, and you are moving far away from the surface of earth, potential energy will decrease. As you move away, potential energy will increase. From negative, it is becoming 0 0 0. So you can say as you're moving far away, potential energy is increasing. At the surface, potential energy is minus gm mass of the earth divided by mass of the particle and the radius of the earth. At some large distance, you can say energy is simple minus gm1 m2 by r. Okay, now if I want to know potential energy of a system, let's say I have a system of 3 particles. One is of mass m1, one of mass m2, mass of m3, and they are kept at the vertex of equilibrium triangle. I'm selecting equilibrium triangle so that discussion become a little bit easy. Distance is a. Now if you want to know the energy of the system, or you can say total energy of the system, you will say we can find the energy of individual pair m1 m2. There is some interaction energy. For m2 m3, there is some interaction energy. At the same time, there is some interaction energy between m1 and m3. Okay, you can say the total energy of all pairs. Okay, So we can solve how many pairs are there. One pair is between m1 and m2, and the energy will be like minus g m1 m2 by a. We have counted this pair. Now search for another pair. There's a pair between m1 and m3. You will say energy is minus g m1 m2 by a. Sorry, m1 m3. And for last pair between m2 and m3, energy is like minus g m2 m3 by a. You can say minus g by a, and total mass m1 m2 m1 m3 and m3 m2. This is the energy of the system, total energy of the system. Okay, got it? Now things will become a little bit tougher if you have more particles. There is simple trick there. If you have n particles, so by help of permutation combination, number of pairs will be like n into n minus 1 by 2. For example, if you pick a system of 4 particles, there are 4 point masses placed at vertex. Okay, how many pairs are possible? 4 into 4 minus 1 by 2. 4 into 3 divided by 2, that is 6 pairs are possible in this discussion. Now, what will happen? Let's say I pick a question here, 4 particles. Let's say this is m, this is m. I am keeping simple for concept understanding. I am not giving a tough calculation. Calculation is easy, but for concept. Now, there are 4 particles. They are placed at the vertex of a square. What is the energy of the system? You will say, how many pairs are there? 6 pairs. Okay, 4 particles, 6 pairs. How many pairs? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 side pairs. The 4 side pairs will be like minus g m1 m2 divided by a. Now, did we forget to calculate 2 particles here? Yes, sir. There is one pair between these diagonals, one pair with another diagonal. You can say there are 2 diagonal pair. Okay, and the energy between them is like minus 2 gm square divided by a root 2. The answer will be like this, minus gm square by a 4 plus 2 by root 2. Okay. Similarly, if they pick 6 pairs of particles, 7 particle, 8 particle, 9 particle, you can do it like this. Okay. Again, I am repeating the concept. We have discussed the concept of potential energy as mgh in earlier chapter. Definitely, particle of energy of particle can be represented by mgh, but only in case if you are near to the earth. In that case, you can assume gravitation force is constant and you write mgh. We want to know the general potential energy function for 2 particles, or you can say for earth and particle. Okay, in outer part, earth behaves like a point mass in the particle. Now, first we have to prove gravitational force is conservative. If you are moving from this point to this point, you can say I am moving little bit along tangent, little bit in this direction, this. So if you are moving this direction, definitely work done by gravitational force will be 0 because you are moving along tangent. And if you are moving along radial direction, work done must be there. Here I told you that work done between force and displacement along tangent must be 0. Work done is done only in the case when particles are shifted along radial direction. So we found the gravitational force expression, gravitational potential expression as u equal to minus gm1 m2 by r. It is applicable in the case of earth and particle if particle is situated outside of the earth, and for 2 point masses also. Gravitational potential is negative at the surface, minus gmm divided by r. As you move away, potential increases, and after increasing and getting higher value at infinity, potential becomes 0. Okay, for 2 particle system, energy is simple, minus gm1 m2 by r. For system of particle, you can write energy in terms of pair also. Their number of particles will decide the pair, and particles are n. The number of pair is n into n minus 1 by 2. For 4 particles is like this. And if they pick a cube system, let's say like this, okay, they pick m here, m here, m here, m here, total 8 particles are there. You will say number of particles will be like 8 into into 8 into 8 minus 1 by 2, 8 into 7 by 2. You can say total 28 pairs are there. Okay. If they say how many pairs are 28 pairs, how will you solve them? Now see here, side pairs are 4 here, 4 at the bottom, and 4 in the vertical columns. Okay. So you have total 12 pairs of minus gm1 m2 by a. Got it? At the same time, if you compare it with the dice, you will say each face will have 2 diagonal pair. So you have 6 faces. Again, you have 12 pairs of minus gm square divided by a root 2. Now you have calculated total 24 pairs. How many pairs are left? 4 pairs. And 4 pairs are for body diagonal. So 4 into minus gm1 m2 divided by a root 3. Okay. First you have to find the number of particles. Then you can find the particle pairs. Okay. Next part we'll discuss about the energy consideration in case of particle moving near to the surface of Earth, far away from the surface of Earth, energy condition, planetary motion, satellite motion, escape speed, binding energy. Various concept depends upon this concept.